The alarm rang at 4:47 a.m. Not 5 a.m., not 6 a.m., not a normal time. 4:47. It had no special meaning. He chose it randomly one night when he couldn't sleep. He told himself, if I can wake up at a weird time, maybe my life will stop feeling normal and empty. The alarm rang. He opened his eyes, then closed them again. His body was heavy. His mind started negotiating. 5 more minutes. You deserve rest. You worked hard yesterday. Tomorrow will be better. Tomorrow had been better for 6 years. He lay there staring at the ceiling, feeling the same dull pressure in his chest he felt every morning. Not pain, not sadness, something worse, numbness. He wasn't poor, he wasn't rich, he wasn't sick, he wasn't healthy either. He existed. That was the problem. He rolled onto his side and picked up his phone. Notifications, messages, reels. People laughing, people winning, people living. He felt like a spectator in his own life. The alarm rang again. He turned it off. For a moment, he considered going back to sleep and pretending today was just another day. Then a thought hit him quietly. If nothing changes today, nothing changes this year. If nothing changes this year, nothing changes in your life. That thought felt heavier than the blanket. He sat up, not with motivation, not with excitement, with resignation. Like someone who finally accepts that pain is unavoidable and decides to walk through it. He stood up. His legs felt weak. His mind felt louder. He went to the bathroom, splashed cold water on his face, and stared at his reflection. His eyes looked tired, older than his age. He whispered, "Who did you become?" The reflection didn't answer. He put on old running shoes he hadn't worn in months. The soles were worn unevenly. One lace was shorter than the other. He stepped outside. The street was quiet. The sky was dark blue. The world felt paused. For a moment, he felt invisible. Then he started walking. Not running, not jogging, walking. Every step felt unnecessary. What's the point? You'll quit again. This won't change anything. He kept walking. 10 minutes later, his chest burned. 20 minutes later, his legs hurt. 30 minutes later, he wanted to stop. He didn't stop. Not because he was strong, because he was tired of being weak. When he came back home, he collapsed onto the floor. His heart was racing. His shirt was soaked. He laughed. Not a happy laugh, a broken laugh. I can't even walk for 30 minutes without feeling like I'm dying. What kind of life is this? He lay there staring at the ceiling again. But something was different. He felt present. That morning, he didn't suddenly become disciplined. He didn't suddenly become confident. He didn't suddenly believe in himself. He just did one hard thing. The next day, the alarm rang again at 4:47 a.m. This time, he didn't sit up immediately. He lay there thinking. Yesterday had hurt. Yesterday had sucked. Yesterday had been uncomfortable. But yesterday had also been real. He sat up again. He walked again. Some days he walked. Some days he ran. Some days he barely moved. But he showed up. Not perfectly, consistently. Weeks passed. Nothing dramatic happened. No viral success, no miracle opportunity, no sudden confidence. But his body started changing. His breathing became easier. His sleep improved. More importantly, his mind started respecting him again. He began stacking small wins, making his bed, drinking water instead of soda, reading 10 pages, writing 1 paragraph, applying for 1 opportunity. Tiny actions, almost embarrassing in their simplicity, but they added up. 3 months later, someone at work said, "You look different." He smiled awkwardly. He didn't feel different. He felt heavier. Not physically, responsibility heavy. Because now he knew something. Change wasn't impossible. It was just uncomfortable, and comfort was his addiction. He started saying no to things that wasted his time. Late-night scrolling, meaningless arguments, empty hangouts. People noticed. Some laughed, some got offended, some stopped inviting him. He felt lonely, but he also felt lighter. He started working on a skill he had always dreamed about but never committed to. Every night, 1 hour. Most nights he was tired, most nights he wanted to quit, but he remembered that morning at 4:47 a.m. He remembered how showing up felt better than staying stuck. 6 months passed. He failed more than he succeeded. He got rejected, ignored, underpaid. But he didn't quit. Not because he was fearless, because he finally understood fear. Fear wasn't a stop sign. Fear was a direction. A year passed. His life wasn't perfect, but it was his. He wasn't rich, but he wasn't desperate either. He wasn't famous, but he wasn't invisible anymore. People started asking him for advice. How did you change? How did you stay consistent? How did you stop procrastinating? He never had a cool answer. He just said, "I got tired of disappointing myself." One night, he sat on his bed, holding his phone. He scrolled through old photos. His old face looked empty. His old eyes looked lost. He felt a strange sadness, not regret, grief for the version of himself who suffered silently. He whispered, "I'm sorry I waited so long." He stood up, walked to the window and looked outside. The city lights blinked. People rushing, cars moving, life happening. He didn't feel behind anymore. He didn't feel ahead either. He felt aligned. He knew something most people never realize. Your life doesn't change when you feel motivated. It changes when you feel responsible. Responsible for your mornings, responsible for your habits, responsible for your thoughts, responsible for your direction. He still had bad days, days he felt lazy, days he doubted himself, days he wanted to quit. But now he had proof that he could start again, over and over. Years later, he woke up at 4:47 a.m. again, not because he had to, because he wanted to. He stood up, put on his shoes, and stepped outside. The sky was dark blue again. The world felt paused again. He smiled, because he wasn't invisible anymore. He was intentional. And if you're listening to this story right now, you are not broken. You are not late. You are not weak. You are just stuck in comfort. And comfort feels safe until it costs you your life. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need motivation. You don't need permission. You need one hard decision. Wake up earlier, start smaller, quit excuses, repeat tomorrow. Because your future is not waiting for inspiration. It is waiting for discipline. And one day, if you don't quit, you will look back at this moment and realize this was the day your life quietly changed.